You ever been trapped 35,000 feet in the air, with a full-blown Karen? Yeah. This one didn't just complain about legroom, she tried to force her way into the cockpit. And here's the thing she didn't know, I was the air marshal on that flight. And by the time we landed, she was the one in handcuffs. I was sitting at gate 72B in LAX, same stale air, same half-dead fluorescent lights. If you've ever flown late at night, you know that unique mix, coffee, jet fuel, and human exhaustion. Hoodie up, sunglasses on, I looked like every other worn-out traveler. That was the goal. On paper, I was Fred Monk, just a consultant heading home. In reality, I was the invisible safety net, a federal air marshal assigned to babysit a red-eye that had a few too many incidents lately. Usually, nothing happens. Maybe a drunk salesman, maybe a seat dispute. But that night? The quiet didn't last long. She didn't walk into the gate area. She arrived, like weather, sucking all calm out of the room. Blonde curls, phone mounted on a pink glitter gimbal, voice turned up to 11. And you will not believe the incompetence at this check-in counter, she shouted to her live stream. They weighed my carry-on. Mine. People looked up, rolled their eyes, looked back down. Nobody wants to engage a live Karen in the wild. I just watched. The old guy next to me whispered, "Is she rehearsing?" I smirked, "Off-Broadway." "Very off." He chuckled. "Hope it's a short show." "Depends on the audience," I said, and her audience was thousands online. That's the dangerous kind. The ones who think attention equals authority. When boarding started, she made her move, cutting in front of an elderly couple, flashing her first-class boarding pass like it was a royal pardon. By the time I got to my seat, 2A aisle, she was already planted in 1C, phone angled just right, narrating every injustice. As I walked by, my duffel might have brushed an inch of her personal bubble. Her head snapped around. "Oh, great," she said loud enough for the whole cabin. "People like you don't usually sit in first class." I kept my face still. No reaction. Then an older woman she'd cut earlier leaned out. "Honey, he looks cleaner than your soul." Her husband added, "And better shoes." I nearly smiled. But staying invisible was part of the job. A few minutes later, the purser, Leah, approached my row. "Mr. Monk, can I get you a pre-departure water? Still or sparkling?" That was our signal. "Still is fine," I said. "Right away," she nodded. That one word, still, told her I was the air marshal. Now she knew where I sat, and that if anything went sideways, she had backup. Karen was already complaining again. This time about not getting a pre-flight drink. Her phone was back up, audience tuned in. The plane door hadn't even closed, and she'd already burned through everyone's patience. When the gate agent came to handle it, she switched from snarky to smug. "Do you know who I am?" she demanded. "I have 2 million followers. One post from me, and this airline stock will tank." Classic. She thought influence meant immunity. Leah stood her ground. "Ma'am, please take your seat. It's a safety rule." Karen rolled her eyes but sat down dramatically. "Fine. Let my skin shrivel up and die, then." The buckle clicked with the force of a slammed door. Crisis averted, for now. But I knew it wasn't over. People like her don't stop. They regroup. As we lifted off, the city lights of LA faded beneath us. Inside, you could feel the shift, the moment everyone realizes we're now sealed in a metal tube miles above the ground. Karen started typing furiously on her phone. Probably crafting her victim narrative for her followers. When the seatbelt sign dinged off, she stood up immediately, like it was a race. Leah appeared, calm as ever. "Ma'am, please remain seated while the cabin crew," Karen cut her off, voice rising. "Don't you tell me what to do. I need to talk to the pilot. He'll listen." Now, that phrase, "talk to the pilot," that's where things cross a line. Leah tried again, voice steady but firm. "You are not authorized to approach the cockpit. Please sit down." Karen whipped her phone around, live streaming herself standing in the aisle. "Everyone, look at this. They're treating me like a criminal for asking to speak to the pilot." You could feel the air tighten. Phone started recording. She took a step toward the cockpit door. Just one step, but that's all it takes to turn a problem into a security threat. I unbuckled, calm but fast. In less than 2 seconds, I was between her and the door. "Ma'am," I said quietly, "you need to sit down right now." She looked me up and down, smirking. "Who even are you? Another wannabe hero?" I showed her my badge, just enough. Federal Air Marshal. The color drained from her face. The phone started to shake in her hand. "Ma'am, you've crossed a line. Sit down, or we'll divert this plane and meet security on the ground." She froze. For a moment, I thought she'd push it, but then she sat. Hard. Leah gave me the smallest nod. The ex-military guy in 3D had already half stood, ready to back me up if needed. The cabin exhaled as one. For the rest of the flight, Karen stayed quiet. No live stream. No comments. Just silence, the kind that comes when the audience is gone. When we landed, 2 federal officers were waiting. She was escorted off the plane, muttering something about overreaction. I stayed seated. Let the crowd exit. My job isn't about credit, it's about quiet endings. As I walked through the empty terminal, I thought about what my friend Dave always says: some people think they're the only ones with a script. He's right. But up here, at 35,000 feet, there's only one script that matters: safety. Everyone else? Just passengers trying to make it home. So yeah, I faced the worst Karen ever. But what she'll remember most isn't the live stream, it's the silence that came after it ended.